My adventure story does not have poop in it.
Yeah!
It does have guns in it. Just water guns. So, this was one summer in high school, probably close to graduation. One wild and crazy summer. Most of my friends were like, kind of like good kids like me. Like we didn't drink or smoke pot or like, I guess we had to find like other ways to have like crazy, dangerous fun. So we were all hanging out at somebody's house at one point, and we were bored, and we were like, what are we gonna do? Oh, we should go rent a movie. So we hopped in the car. It was my friend's mom's car, and for some reason I was driving it. I don't remember how this worked out. I think there were 5 of us. And we had water guns. Like, it was like, this was the era, well, I guess they still exist, like the Super Soaker water guns. Yeah. I think we had like 2 of them in the car for some reason. And so, so we were driving and we decided, let's take like a detour through some of the rich Charlotte neighborhoods and shoot people with the water guns that we see. You know, it was like a really hot day, and like, you know, we thought it would be fun. You know, people wouldn't care that much. So we were driving around, and we had some pretty good luck. There were like a lot of people out like jogging and stuff. It looked like they probably didn't mind getting shot. And it was kind of like escalating. It was like getting a little bit crazier. There was one point where we like turned a corner. I turned a corner, and I felt like I had kind of been egging people on. Like I think the water guns were probably mine. But at some point, I turned this corner and we saw this guy like in a wheelchair.
Oh no!
On the sidewalk. That's what I thought. I thought, oh no. And I kind of felt out of control of the other people in the car with the water guns. Like they were like, oh yeah, and so I just turned to the next street and like so we avoided the picture. So that was good. And then we saw a guy and his wife out walking their little poodle, and we drove by them and shot them really good. And they looked sort of mad, you know. And we kind of drove through the neighborhood a little bit more, and somehow we had come back around and we saw them again, and they were there like in front of us, and we were like, well, shoot them again. And as we got closer, the husband, like, he steps out in front of the car. I mean, I don't know how fast we were going, you know, maybe it was 25, 35, but he just, you know, he like had this willpower, like he was going to like get us. And so he stepped out in front of the car, you know, it's like he was going to stop us. And I did stop. And and we were all scared. And he was so mad, I could see this huge vein, like, pulsing in his forehead, you know. He was just fuming. And he came around to the passenger side, and there was this girl sitting in that side, and he just started yelling at us. And he was really yelling at me, because as soon as he got from in front of the car, I started to edge forward again. You know, I was going to get out of there. And he was like, you little bastard, you better stop this car. And when I realized, like, he was yelling and this girl was here in the passenger seat, I had to get out of there, and I realized he wasn't in front of the car. And I was sort of worried about where the poodle was. Like, the wife was back there with the poodle, and I was looking and looking, and I started going forward, and he was yelling and yelling, and then finally I just took off. You know, we got out of there. Oh, and then he held on to the window was down. He held on to like the door of the car and ran with this, like as we were like trying to drive away. That's what he was like, you bastard, you little bastard, you better stop this car. That's what he said that. And so like it was scary, and like he was just running along with the car, and eventually I just sped up fast enough, and he fell. And he fell down. Like, I don't know if he maybe skinned his knee or his elbows. It seemed like it was likely. And, And then we were all so freaked out. We were like good kids. We were like, this was like a big deal for us to do something bad. We were also freaked out. We just drove home and sat there and went like, oh my God, what did we just do? We didn't rent a movie. We just beat ourselves up all afternoon. And we worried about, if they had gotten our license plate number and that it was my friend's mom's car and that she would get the call from the police, and that never happened. So we were lucky, but that was my adventure.